Hello, hello. Hey, Janice. How's it how's it going? All right. So, let me know how the sound is because I'm trying another new microphone here in my studio. Hey, Barbara. Hi, Robin. Hello, hello. Susan, Mary, howdy. As you're popping on, say hello and let me know how the sound is because I'm using a new fancy mic. All right. Let's see if that made a difference. Okay, give it just a second. I think I might have it fixed. How is it now? Seems like we're back on track. Gabrielle, hello. Florence, hi. Okay, how is it now? Whoops. Oh boy. Have you ever had one of those days? All right. Sorry about that. The weather must be messing with my Wi-Fi. All right. So, let's talk about distress paint. Let me move my computer closer so I can see the comments. All right. So Tim Holtz just or Ranger for Tim Holtz just re-released um new paint, well, not new paint colors from the archives, paint colors that haven't been made for a while. Hey, Winifred, and I was kind of excited because there are some colors of paint that I don't have. And I was watching the live that he did and thought, well, you know what? Why don't we talk about distress paint with the new paints coming out that I'm sure some of you are going to get? Oh, Renee says the paints are in the store. Renee says that she just checked them in this afternoon. So if you were on the wish list, you're either going to get a call or have gotten a call. But that's what we're going to talk about. His Tim's video is always long, but it's always full of information. And what I like to do is pull out bits and pieces of it. So we'll do one of the techniques that he demoed with the distress paints. And I'll just reiterate that the distress paint is the only distress product that is water reactive when it's wet, but permanent when it's dry. All right. So these backgrounds I did as samples are done with the paints and they're dry and they will not be reactivated with water or any wet medium, which is a really nice thing because you can keep your background the way that it is. If there was anything that I could possibly complain about with distress, it would be that you can't put another wet medium on it without messing up what you've got. But that just taught me to not fall in love with my background on the first or second or third layer, right? So what we're going to do is we're using the regular distress, or actually these are the distress pieces of the regular um, heavyweight cardstock. And I pulled a couple of paint colors that I have and kind of partnered them up. So this bundle that I'll do first is going to be Salvaged Patina, Rustic Wilderness, and Uncharted Mariner. So you'll need some paint colors. You can do whatever combination that you love. Just remember, if you mix it too much, you could potentially end up with muddy looking paint. And if that bothers you, you have to just consider that. It doesn't really bother me. Okay, and you will also need water. Of course, I've got my distress sprayer that I love, right? So we are going to start on my craft mat here, on the mat, not the glass side, but the mat side, and give my paint a little shake. And I'm going to put a couple of drops down. Oh, I already got paint on my hand. Just opened the first color. All right, then we'll take a little Rustic Wilderness and we'll toss in a little Salvage Patina. I always do things in 3s or 5s, which I know is, pleasing to the eye on a card or a page, but I tend to do that like with drops and drips too. So I did 3 little drops of each of the colors. And then I'm going to give it a spray with my water. And I'm just going to kind of smush it in. Okay, and there we go. Now I am going to spray it some more. And you can see how it activates with the water. And I'll hold it up in a minute, but then I'm going to hit it with my heat gun to kind of get the paint to stay where it is, because it looks really cool the way it's swirling around, the way that the Distress always reacts. And I'm going to clean up some of this puddling over here because I don't want it to run off the mat. Now I'm not wiping up my paint yet because I might want to put another layer. So once this is dry, it'll be permanent and you can put another layer on top and it's not going to react with your first layer. While we're waiting for this to dry, does anybody have any questions while I have a second to look at the chat here? And as soon as I get this pretty dry, I'll hold it up so you can see. But after trying or retrying these techniques with the paints, I'm really excited for the rest of the colors. I have a lot of the Distress paints with the daubers on them, so I'm going to have to switch out my tops because, after a long time, they start to get a little crusty. Not all of them, some of them. All right, so there is that first go. All right, with the paint. Now, I'm going to add some more water because I want to make it pretty swirly. All right, and then I'm not going to drag it through. I'm going to kind of dab it and switch it around and dab it. Oh, one more dab. All right, that's just going to give us some texture, some interest, some splatters. All right, and then I'm going to spray a little water because what's wet will still react with the water. Now, Tim always says if you let those drips and drops, and we've talked about this before also with sprays and paint inks, if you let the drips and drops dry natural, you tend to get that water ring a little bit more prominent than you would when you dry it with the heat gun. So I'm only doing this for the sake of the demo. And I want to show you another color too, so you can just kind of see how fun making these backgrounds is. And another way to be able to use your paints that isn't just painting. And Distress paint's one of my favorite mediums to use on my chipboard pieces. So I do use my Distress paints quite a bit for painting the chipboard. But isn't that a fun background? You can use this as a background for a card or a mat for a layout, or you could die cut this piece or use it for collage, all sorts of things. So the colors on that one were Salvage Patina, Rustic Wilderness, and of course my fave, Uncharted Mariner. All right, but let's do another one using some of my other favorites, Saltwater Taffy, Kitsch Flamingo, and Speckled Egg. And I didn't bring the purple over, but I kind of want to put a little drip of purple. Make sure I opened it because a couple of my paints I hadn't even opened yet. Okay, so let's do this one real quick so you can see some lighter colors in action and how they mix and mingle. You're seeing faces in that, Marilyn, in the green one? Huh. It's funny. It's like watching the clouds, isn't it? What you can find as far as a shape. Okay. All right, and then this one is speckled egg, like I mentioned. Whoops. Oh my God, a fourth drop, an extra one. Oh, I'll only do 2 drops of purple. Yeah, this purple's really dark, so I'm not going to use a lot. This is the Villainous Potion. All right, so you see those drops. Get some water in there. And here we go. So the first go, kind of smash the whole paper in there. And then I'm going to put a little bit more water to get that paint moving around. And then get that heat gun to it, because look at those, the way that that paint is moving around with the water. Isn't that fun? I think because, like I said, that purple is really prominent, even with only 2 drops. I'm going to add a little bit more speckled egg when I do my second go. Then we'll add a little bit of water over here while we're drying, just to get it ready. How's everybody doing? Are you still with me? Let me see some comments or some hearts, or are you just mesmerized by how awesome this paint reacts with water? It's gorgeous. All right. We're going to do some drips or some just little presses in here. Get some of that speckled egg back. A little bit, just a little bit of water this time. There you are. I can tell you're mesmerized with what's going on with this paint here. It's gorgeous. Honestly, I could just sit here and do this all day. These would be really great backgrounds in mixed media journals as well, so that you could collage over them. Are you a fan of purple, Gabrielle? Sorry. Yeah, Winifred. Winifred's like, I want to play. Yes, it is fun with these paints, and I am super excited to get my hands on all those uh, colors from the vault. All right. Let's wipe this up before I stick my arm in it, because, well, that's how kind of day it's been. All right. Who am I kidding? Every day is a day that I'll stick my arm in some paint. Isn't that pretty? Look at that. All right. Who's got questions? Anybody? If not, I am going to start with a little wrap up here. Wait a minute or so for questions. But as Renee said in the chat earlier, she just checked in the new paint bundles that were just reintroduced from the vault. And so they will be at the store. Don't rush and get them before I do tomorrow, because I want to get those colors. But if you got them on the wish list, I'm sure you'll be getting a call or have gotten a call. And I think that we will actually do something with paints next week also. There's another technique that I was watching that Tim did that would be fun to mix in some stamped images. So we'll probably take a little dive into some other things that you can do with the paints, since it's a big topic of conversation right now. Don't forget, we've got Scrappy Chat this week on Saturday at 9:30. We'll be talking about all the other new products that we got in. We got a bunch of new stuff. And then, I think Mega Meet is the next weekend. Who is coming to crop with us Mega Meet weekend? We've got extended hours Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Um, so there is the Friday crop with dinner, Saturday crop with dinner and dessert, and we will have prizes and surprises and demos and make and takes and maybe even some visits from some of our favorite vendors who are going to be in town for Mega Meet. So don't forget about that. If you haven't signed up for Jen's classes, that's the following week, the 19th, 20th, and 21st. So make sure you get signed up for those. There's 2 classes, Hive 5 and Summer 11, that are offered all 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So plenty of opportunity to get in a class. And if you are a coupon book holder, don't forget about your coupon this month, which is $5 off a class or a crop if you sign up for it this month. So we've got lots of things that you can sign up for and use your coupon. All right, everybody? Okay. So if nobody has any real questions, I am going to say good night. Thank you so much for joining me as always. We will have this saved in our library so that if you want to watch the replay, you can. And I look forward to seeing you at the store or seeing you right here next Tuesday for Technique Talk. All right, everybody. Thank you. Talk to you soon.